All right, ladies and gents, welcome to today's GeoTalk. Thank you for joining us. It's great to see such a big audience here. To welcome back one of our alumni for one of our Wits Centenary Geotalks. So this is a special series of GeoTalks that we're organizing as part of Wits Centenary. Of course, not the school centenary. We're much older than the university, but it's part of a very special year for us. And we're really happy to welcome back a whole bunch of alumni to join us here. And today we are welcoming Valerie, who is from the Council of Geoscience. She is here to tell us a story. As you can see from the title, it's more than just rocks. And it's an important story, I think, for many of our students to hear. So Valerie did her undergrad here at Wits University. She also did her MSc here at Wits, and then went on to work in industry at SRK for some time, working on uranium in the Karoo, and subsequently did a PhD through Chimera at UJ, and is now working at the Council of Geoscience. And she asked me to tell all of you that the Council of Geoscience supported her a great deal during her postgraduate and PhD work. And that's one of the things I'm sure you'll learn today from this talk. Valerie is now involved in the Strategic Management Office at the Council of Geoscience. And so I think has a very good overview of many of the important things that, that you need to know about going into employment after you finish. Yeah. So Valerie, thank you so much. Over to you. Just going to close this window.
A very good afternoon. It's always good to be back in this class. It brings a lot of memories, but I would like to thank the School of Geosciences for the invitation and to come and meet the 2022 students. So I hope you enjoy the talk. I've accepted the invitation because I was told that it's a Women's Month. I'm also a Wits alumni, and Wits is celebrating 100 years of existence. So I said, okay, I'll come. So I said, what's the topic, the title of my talk? They said, no, anything. So what I said, okay, no, it's fine. I want to share my story with you. But I said, oh, I don't know how to coin it. But my colleagues at the Council for Geoscience assisted me to put this beautiful title. So I hope you will be able to relate with it as we go along with the presentation.
Just click on the screen, Valerie.
Okay. Okay, so these are the contents of my presentation. I'll share with you about us, where we are today, and then I will share with you the role of geoscience institutions in our society and the future of geosciences. Actually, I see the future of geoscientists in this room. So where are they now? I'll introduce the picture on the left was taken in 2005. We're doing our third year here at Wits, and we're going on an economic geology field trip to the Bushveld and to the Tabazimbi. The one in the middle, it displays us dressing so well to look like people in the industry. So during our days, we used to have the days, we used to call them Masila Day. And these were great initiatives by us. And I remember Prof. Judith Knight, she supported us in these initiatives. So we used to dress up to show that, you know, geologists can look good as well. And then the last one on the right, it was taken in Namibia. So this was one of our honors field trips. So I just want to share some of the success stories about the geoscience graduates, where they are in the industry today. So it's just some of the stories that are not told, but we are privileged today to tell those stories with dates as they celebrate 100 years. I'll start with Miss Hubble Masikwa. She has obtained her honors geology at Wits. And after that, she did her postgraduate diploma in engineering, mining at Wits. And she also completed her MBA with GIPS at the University of Pretoria. Hubble was born in Haramukoka. It's a township north of Pretoria. So she always dreamed to become an astronomer. But then she said one day, a company called CareerWise came to her school to tell them about sponsorships. But then they introduced the career in earth sciences. So that's how she got to know about the geosciences. So when she arrived at Wits, she said that she was welcomed so well by Prof. Jill Drennan. And Prof. Jill inspired her to work hard and aspire for greatness. So currently, she is the head of the Department of Mineral Resource Management at Asmang Manganese. She has 16 years underground mining experience, which 12 she spent underground coal, 4 in manganese underground. So she's an underground geologist. It's good to have such people. Next is Kensani Tlhapi. We know her as Masilana. Actually, today is her birthday. I would like to say happy birthday to Kensani. Just to highlight the Tlhapi story, but I won't tell, I think it will be for another day. I think Kensani and Mr. Tlhapi, they've met where Grandpapi is sitting some years ago, but it's a story for another day. Kensani has obtained her honors degree in geology at Wits, and she did a program with GIPS on leading women. Sorry, how do I go back?
Use the arrow, back arrow key. Just should work if you. It's okay. There we go. That arrow.
Oh, that's
That's back. That's full.
Okay. So Kensani, one of her next goals is that she wants to complete her MSc in mining engineering, mineral economics. So she was awarded with several awards to complete her studies at Wits. Currently, she's a superintendent chief geologist in Manganese, South Africa, South 32. She leads and mentors a team of geologists, a grade control sampling team. So she says that she always believe in yourself, your innermost abilities. All things are possible with God. We go to Mishka Modli. She has obtained her honors degree in geology from Wits. She did her graduate diploma in mining engineering at Wits, and she also did her MBA at GIPS. She has started her career in production and exploration, and she has worked in the Bushveld complex, focused on chromatite. And what she says is that with the experience that she has gained, she has the analytic capabilities that she has gained in geosciences, and those have helped her to in a structured problem solving of other industries. So she is a manager of strategy at Exalo Resources. She crafts and implements strategies, those that focus on decarbonization, and she also crafts other strategies that address the gender-based violence in the mining industry. So she says she definitely misses the halls of geoscience building, the fresh air on field trips, and never really knowing if her stride measurements were correct. So I don't know where's Prof. Gibson for that. So she says that there's so much power in authenticity, and it's something I love to encourage. This industry and our country needs the fresh perspectives and approaches that come from women and people from the LGBTQI and community. I'm inspired each time I see a person being themselves in mining and beyond. We go to Lili Meguana. Lili, she holds an honors degree in geology from Wits. She says when she looks at her journey in the mining industry, she's very proud to say that she still continuously shares knowledge without limits. She empowers many young men and women. And she says she's the person who has shamelessly brought a softer and more feminine yet successful approach to geology discipline in a tough and demanding environment. I think what she's saying it's key because when we talk as women in the industry, is that we want to sort of like compete with our male counterparts. We want to not behave like women. So I think it is beautiful to be women in all of where we are operating. So she says that the university has prepared her to be an analytical thinker, but being a continuous miner operator, a drill rig operator, shift boss, HR officer, sampler, a mine manager has taught her about the day-to-day running of a coal mine and its people. So she worked for BHP Billiton Energy Coal, then went to Glencore, South Africa, and then currently she's at Thungela Resources as a resource geologist. We go to Lebohang Tlhahla. We call her Mzala. She has an honors degree, geology from Wits University. She is a very energetic woman, believe you me. So she's from Rahamskraal, that's also north of Pretoria. So her journey at Wits is that she started in mining engineering, but then she ended up studying geology. So I think there's that positive effect on rocks. We bring everyone. And she worked at Wits Geosciences as an assistant in geochemistry laboratory. So her honors was funded by Anglo Platinum. She worked for Anglo Platinum Mines. She got promoted to a section junior geologist and then a shaft geologist. And then she resigned because I think she has grown so much. So she became an entrepreneur. So she started consulting. She consulted for several companies such as African Rebel Minerals. And now she is running her own company in engineering. So she offers electrical services, conveyor belts management in the mines. And she says she's a hopeless serial entrepreneur of note. Why? Because now she's focusing on luxury scented candles and also cattle farming. So, I mean, it's beyond the rocks. She says we live in the world that our parents never imagined. A global network that offers a wide range of life-changing experiences and opportunities. I encourage women to take part and explore their abilities with a bold smile. Always keep in mind that they can achieve everything they set in their minds on. And here, I would like to present one of our own at the Council for Geoscience. She is one of our executive manager, Refule Monoko. She holds a master's degree in geology from Wits University, and she just recently completed a program on global executive development at GIBS at University of Pretoria. So the portfolio she's currently managing, she looks she's responsible for 3 business units that include knowledge management, analytical services, and technical services. So when I was asking her for inputs, she didn't want to say much of the stories. I said, no, Refile, I know that you are the first Black female to ever produce and publish a detailed geological maps at the Council for Geoscience, possibly in South Africa, but there are others who came after her. So those maps that are displayed on the left is some of the maps that she has produced. Those are 1 in 50,000 scale. We come to Dr. Louise Corney. Dr. Louise Corney, she holds a PhD geology from the University of Witwatersrand. She said she was very lucky to have worked with Professor Uwe Raymond, Professor Roger Gibson, and they have pushed her to be a research geologist she is. She said she's forever grateful for the skill set that she has developed. So she spent most of her time in the nickel exploration, and then she was appointed as a lead scientist at SA DPMR Mintech Provenance Laboratory. She moved to De Beers. She has her 10-year anniversary there now, and she's currently a technical manager of Indicator Mineral Laboratory and analytical projects. She says she's passionate about developing young scientists, and she's one of the external examiners for the Wits Geology Honors degree. So I think you have met one of your examiners. Okay, so I would like to read what she's saying at the bottom, because I cannot see. She says, don't give up, even when times are most difficult. The next step is always around the corner. And as long as you bring your authentic self to whatever you do, you'll shine. We now introduce Dr. Valerie Nxumalo. Myself. I obtained a master's degree in geology from the Witwatersrand University. I have just recently completed my PhD at the university next door to the Wits, UJ. With this slide, I would like for you to focus on this article. When I was 16 years back then in Bushbuck Ridge, I did not know what to do. I wanted to do ICT. I wanted to be an engineer. However, one of my sisters, she did metallurgy. And then she says, Valerie, there is something called geology, because she did geology as part of the courses when she was doing metallurgy. She said, there's something called geology, and I think it's fascinating. So I told my dad about it. I think my dad saw that, oh, I'm confused. So my dad brought a Sowetan newspaper where this article was extracted. My dad was saying that, I think this is the right career for you. That was in 2001. And then, because this article was encouraging women to be in the mining space because it was needed for the country. So geology was mentioned there, metallurgy, exploration as well. So these pictures is just to show you my journey from metric to Wits and to UJ. So I started my career in 2007 as a junior exploration geologist at the SRK Consulting. I would like to appreciate our lecturers here at Wits. Prof. Suweb, she's the one who introduced us to SRK Consulting. Actually, we were invited to attend some talk on a Friday. So we went there. But like for me, it was like, wow, I see myself working here. And I think that's how I ended up at SRK Consulting. The head offices are in Ilovo in South Africa. So I worked at looking at uranium in the Boho, West South Africa, exploration for uranium in the Karoo supergroup rocks. So, but later that year, I joined the Council for Geoscience because the CGS was looking for a scientist to work on the Karoo supergroup rocks in Botswana and Namibia. So I said, I'm here. So that's how I joined the Council for Geoscience. And then CGS supported me through my academic journey at Wits as well as a UJ. So currently I am a manager in the Strategic Management Office of the Council for Geoscience. I ensure that there's strategic and business planning where we produce strategic plans for the organization, where we account on those documentations and report to the relevant authorities. So we're responsible for the performance of the information. We support the board as well, and we participate in various geoscience projects and other corporate initiatives. But my role is to make sure that the strategy of CGS it's implemented successfully at the end of the day. So this diagram is just to show you the distribution of the Karoo basins in Southern Africa and my journey in terms of knowledge that I've contributed to. So you see at the bottom, that's Beaufort West, and those were the images taken there when I was still with SRK. And when I moved to the CGS, I was looking at that basin there. It's covered by Karoo, big Kalahari sands. So most of the information, you find it from the Boho data. And then I did a little bit of work in the Rosendal area in the Free State. Here was to look at uranium in the Karoo supergroup rocks. But then my PhD focused on the Springbok Flats. Here as well, there's not much of exposure. So it's those buried basins. So we had to drill to get the rocks so that we can understand the distribution of uranium in the coal zones there. So my thesis is available at UJ website. My MSc is also available at Wits. So my MSc was on the Botswana side with Wits. So I'll just tell you a little bit about the company that I work for, the Council for Geoscience. It is established in terms of the Geoscience Act. So the Council for Geoscience, it is a legal successor of the Geological Survey of South Africa, which was formed in 1912. So CGS this year is celebrating 110 years. So the CGS, it's also listed as a public entity of government, Schedule 3A, meaning that the mandate is to fulfill a specific economic or social responsibility of government. So the entity relies on government funding. Our mandate is to ensure that we map South Africa onshore and offshore, so we collect the geoscience data. So I think here we see the future mapping geologists. The CGS is waiting for you in South Africa. We do basic geoscience research into the nature and origin of rocks. We collect and curate geoscience data, and then we develop integrated geoscience knowledge. We bring to the notice to the minister any information in relation to the prospecting for mining and mineral resources. So when we say minister, we're meaning Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy. And then we study the distribution, the nature of mineral resources, the geo-environmental aspect of the past, current, and the future. We studied the subsurface of the land. I think you have seen Dr. David Koza presenting about geophysics that we do at the council. So they use all of those techniques to study the subsurface. We're responsible to develop and maintain the geoscience library, the core library, the geophysical, geochemical test sites, the geoscience museum, but we render geoscience services and we advise the state. So the Council for Geoscience, it's located in 6 regional offices with the head office in Pretoria. You'll see like our staff complement is almost 500, and majority of our staff complement it's in Pretoria. So we have colleagues and offices in Belleville. You see there, 29, Beha, Uppington, Pietermaritzburg, and Polokwane. So that's where you can find us. And we have a bursary program where we support different fields of studies, mainly geosciences. So geology, engineering geology, geophysics, remote sensing, paleontology, we support that. And we support different programs, the MScs, the honors, the masters, and the PhDs. So currently we have 84 part-time bursaries. We have 22 full-time bursaries. And we also offer internships. Currently we have 44 interns that are getting a learning experience at the Council for Geoscience. So our strategic focus, our vision is a prosperous and transformed society that is enabled by geoscience solution. And that's our vision as the Council for Geoscience. So we want to see that society, and that is it, like geoscience, it has to be in the forefront and making sure that the society benefits from it. Our mission is drawn from our mandate. Our values are innovation, diversity, excellence, accountability, learning. We are forever learning. We don't stop learning. We also have health, safety, health, and the environment, and transparency. So those are our values. And the strategy that we have adopted currently is an integrated and multidisciplinary geoscience mapping program. So here we want to map the entire South Africa, onshore and offshore. We produce the detailed maps. Currently, we're focusing at 1 in 50,000 scale because investors, they've indicated that that's sort of detailed information that they want to see in the geoscience maps. So this strategy was adopted in 2017-18 financial year, and it encourages the sustainability of the organization, and mainly in the changing state of ideologies, the economy, and the technological landscape. So we want to have an impactful delivery of the CGS mandate through this mapping program so that we can provide geoscience solutions, so that we can support government priorities, so that we can grow the economy of South Africa, so that we can fight poverty, inequality, so that the information can be used, so that there will be job creation, maybe mines, maybe a lot of infrastructures being built. So we have 7 outcomes that we want to achieve. One of them is enhanced applications of geoscience information and knowledge, and to secure a minimum 5% share of the global exploration expenditure. So the work that we want to do, we want to package it in a way that it assists society. So also, I think you are aware that the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy has published the exploration strategy and its implementation plan. So working together with various geoscience institutions, we want to make sure that we bring South Africa to the global exploration expenditure in terms of exploration activities. So our impact statement is drawn from our vision, which I've already indicated, but we would like to contribute to the economic growth, energy security, transition to low carbon economy, access to clean water, and also want to improve collaborations with Africa and the world. So our strategy is aligned with the National Development Plan and the priorities of government. So our strategy, we also, it focuses on 5 core themes. So our projects, they are coined in the way that they address certain themes of minerals and energy, infrastructure and land use, health, groundwater and the environment, geoscience innovation, and diplomacy. So it's just to share with you how we are structured in terms of governance. As I've indicated, the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy will report to the Minister through our board. And at the Council for Geoscience, we are led by the CEO with his executive team that is supported by different managers. So the Council for Geoscience, as I've indicated, is celebrating 110 years. So you are all invited to the summit. Please go and register. And it will be very good to see some good abstracts on things that you want to share on the project that you are doing. So what is the future of geosciences? I asked myself, now that we're celebrating 100 years, 110, how does the next 100 years look like? So I was like noting down, hey, we need to have the geoscience that speaks to societal challenges. We need to make sure that society benefit from geosciences through water, through people want to access affordable energy. We want to take care of our planet. We want to make sure that we don't feel the impact of the climate change. So anyways, we have internet, and then I just like, okay, future for geoscience. And then I was fascinated by this beautiful poster that was published by the Geological Society of London. Actually, it just summarized everything to do with geosciences. All I'm saying is that there's future in geosciences, but we need to make sure that geoscience speaks to society. We need to make sure that our society understands what its role. So making sure that we understand the rocks that we look at, subsurface, surface, anywhere. We need to understand obviously how they're formed, because that will assist you on how they're distributed. You're able to locate those critical minerals that is needed for clean energy, for you to construct infrastructure. You need to understand the geology. So there is future, but we would like to say that we want to see geosciences as well in the forefront, mostly advise the state. It should advise the government. So decisions that are made by countries must be informed by geosciences. And I think we are capable because we have institutions like Wits, we have institutions like the CGS and others. So I think it's important to communicate why geosciences and how geoscience can benefit to all people. So in conclusion, I'm saying that geosciences must be impactful to society and it must support the priorities of government, our regional goals, and also our united goals as nations. We must inform decisions. I mean, I had to learn during the COVID pandemic that they are virologists. And I mean, any decisions that was taken in every country, they had to listen to the scientists. So I think we need to take that space as geoscientists as well. But we're able to realize all of this if we work together. We need to partner together as institutions, geosciences. It doesn't matter where you are, but we need to work together. And let us communicate, let us share the knowledge so that we can make our society informed and policymakers to take the correct decisions. So I'd like to thank you for listening to me. Thank you.
Valerie, thank you so much. Really interesting. Do we have questions, especially from the students? Oh, wow, lots of hands. Okay, let's start in the front. I want you to speak nice and loudly so the microphone can hear you. Okay?
I have a question about There's a project you spoke about that you did in Namibia, where you're doing borehole drilling. And I'm wondering, how then do you start the borehole drilling over sedimentary layers? Is it difficult? Is it, how do you tackle that?
Yeah, you can just
Oh, okay. So the one in Namibia and Botswana, there we did not drill new boreholes. So the information that I looked at, it was previous boreholes that were drilled by the geological surveys of Botswana and Namibia. But borehole drilling, yes, it depends on the type of rocks that you are drilling. So obviously you need to understand the different type of rocks so that you can also able to know what sort of technique in terms of drilling you're going to use. So some people, they'll use the percussion drilling, where like when you drill, you only recover like cheap samples. And then, but most people also use the borehole core drilling. So you extract a solid rock and you're able to look at all structures, you're able to sample it, you do your analysis to get the information that you're looking for.
Thank you. Other questions? Right at the back.
I wanted to ask about the exploration. So that you guys are doing marine mapping. So are there any prospects like something like the marine mapping? What are they, or any other exploration kind of doing? Yeah.
Okay, so with regards to our marine mapping program, so we call it the offshore geoscience mapping program. So actually, I'll say that we have not really mapped our offshore in detail. So it's for the first time for South Africa to embark in that sort of a program so that we can collect the geoscience data in that region. But you know that our offshore regions, they have oil and other things that have not been discovered. So we're hoping that through this program, it's going to attract a lot of people who are going to prospect. I think you hear people talking about phosphate. I think you have heard about the food security. So this program is going to assist us in identifying different resources.
Another question, because the world is looking into information. So what are prospects maybe of minerals or anything like that?
Okay, so green energy prospects of them, what we are currently looking at. I think, I don't know if you have listened to Dr. Koza previously, his presentation. But anyways, currently we talk about critical minerals of the future, green energy. So we want to make sure that we cut down on our carbon footprint by allocating critical minerals. I think you have heard of your lithiums. So one of the projects that the CGS is currently working on, it's in the Northern Cape, where we're mapping the pegmatite belt, because it holds the lithium pegmatites. So such minerals are the ones people are looking at. Some they call them battery minerals. They'll look at your vanadiums. I think there's a lot of activities happening in the Bushveld mining complex now. So those are some of the minerals, green energy minerals, that I think the world is looking at. The REEs.
Lots of comments. Thank you for a great presentation today, Valerie, in the chat online. Are there any more questions from the audience here? Yes, we have two. Let's start with Lou.
You didn't really say very much about
what you do for your job, can you share with us what is your typical day in your work life?
Okay, what I do every day. Okay, so I won't say like every day, Prof. Ashwell. So what I do like in a financial year, so I bring the management team of the Council for Geoscience in one room so that we strategize. So strategy, we look at how we have been performing the previous financial years, and then we look at the mandates, but also we look at the priorities of government at that point in time. So you see, like, President will talk on the State of Nation address, and then they'll focus, he'll mention things about energy security, rollout on infrastructure. So we look at our mandate and see where can we assist government so that we can do our mandate as an entity of government. So we do the planning, and then I'm responsible for making sure that the plans are aligned with the guidelines from the National Treasury, because government operates in a certain way. The plans have to look this way, they need to address this way. So we will set targets on the things that we want to achieve. And if we say we want to produce 45 maps this financial year, that is going to take us maybe to 10% onshore coverage. We discussed that with the team of scientists because they have the knowledge of what we have at the Council for Geoscience, so that the targets that we put there, that we say, South Africa, this is what we're going to deliver to you. It's informed by the real information. So that's what I do, but I make sure that these plans are implemented. We'll create the balance scorecards, we'll circulate them so that the colleagues, they know what we do, what is expected from them. So from their side, they produce these outputs that assist us in achieving certain those outcomes that I've already highlighted. So I'm responsible for collecting the performance information. So we report every quarter to the minister through our board. So I collect all of that information every quarter. Know that a map must have these, that, the legend. So we look at that so that whatever is being submitted and we say, this is what we have delivered, it is of high quality. So we look at that and then we report on the reports, and then the reports that get audited, interact with auditors. Even today I'm being audited because auditors, they want to understand why 5% coverage, why not 7%? But you promised that you are going to cover it the previous month. So that's what I do almost like every day. Yeah, thanks.
Since your job is about planning and management, where does your role get to hiring young geoscientists? Like, when you're done with all the plans and the visions and the missions, where does what you're now go to? What type of geoscientist intern you're looking for, and how does that actually curtail and shape the rest of the future of geoscience in a way? Because if you're going to look at geophysicists only because the plans require geophysicists, is the future geophysics or is the future paleontology?
Okay, so employment and what I do. So like our plans, they generally not only focus on the projects, but we look at the human capital, the skills that we require. We also look at the finances that we have. We look at the technologies that we need to have so that we're able to do our work. So we look at the range of things. So in terms of employment, we know that, okay, maybe we're going to receive this amount of money coming from government to focus on exploration strategy implementation. So yes, our plans, we will make sure that they address that, but we look at what we have at the Council for Geoscience and the skills that we don't have. And most of the time we would advertise to call for all people to apply. And then if you make it based on your qualifications and skills, then you are able to be part of our family. So, but also like in our plans, we have indicators that looks at human capital. So recently has been focused to encourage the women in geosciences to take to be involved in our program. So we have indicators that we want more women. So they'll make sure that recruitment focuses on women. We also have indicators that talks about masters and PhDs, because geosciences needs like knowledgeable people, skilled people. So for the geosciences to be taken importantly in society, we need to make sure that the people are skilled, they are qualified. So we do have such indicators that our scientists must have the PhD and MSc. And when we advertise, we also mention those as part of the requirements that we need in that job that we have advertised for.
Okay, we're going to take two more questions. I think one question down there, and then one over there, and then there's be time afterwards for two, and one in the audience. Okay, let's start over there.
Okay, so the difference between the GSSA and the CGS. Yeah, so if you have looked at my previous slides, we are an entity of government, so government of South Africa, and we're established in terms of the Geoscience Act. So which is law that is there. It's an institution of government that needs to respond to economy, to social responsibility of government. So it is based on that establishment, I guess, when it comes to the differences. And obviously I have introduced the Geoscience Act mandate. I've quoted the things that South Africa wants us to do as an institution. So those, I think they are the differences.
Okay, we'll go to the back first.
You mentioned that you have a specific program. When does it open? If it has not already opened, and what other
Okay, so the bursary program of the CGS, actually I've asked one of our executives. So they have not yet opened for the academic year of 2023, but they said they will communicate soon. So I'll leave my business cards here, but I think you have seen the logo. But what we do as the CGS, we communicate. So you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, on our website. So those are communicated, and the specifications will be listed there. I don't have details on what is required.
Okay, it's also something that you're welcome to chat about afterwards with Valerie if you're interested. Let's ask PQ to come through and unmute and ask their question online. PQ. Should be able to unmute.
Good. Hello.
Go for it, PQ.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Dr. Nxumalo, and I see here there is my former manager, Mahlatsi Munanela. Good afternoon, ma'am. Dr. Takalin Todd, also good afternoon. So, Dr. Nxumalo, I love what you said at the last, where you said, let us communicate. That was your closing remarks. So, and I think it is important, or perhaps it is vital, that we understand that public support is vital to, or perhaps in sustaining important investment in scientific research and also innovation. And we know for the fact that people who are properly informed are able to make decisions about scientific issues that affect their everyday lives. You spoke of the SGs, NDPs, and Agenda 2030, which are the things that I see that the Council for Geoscience is really doing, and kakuhle, because there is what we say, science should be the basis of human development, and science that talks to what is happening to various communities. For example, you speak of the rocks that when scientists analyze, then we can see, good to know, here development can happen, here we can get water and so forth. But I have one question. My question is based on what was published, I think it was 2019, the white paper that emphasized the need for science engagement and science communication. Do you then think the scientific community is doing something right in communicating science? Because not all of us, most especially rural areas where scientists will go and want to do projects in, do not understand science. Do you think the scientific community as a whole is doing a great job in communicating science? If not, what can be done? Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Pico, for the question. I'll say that scientists, I think we are doing something, but I'm not sure if it is enough. I think we need to do more. I did share about where I matriculated in Soshangana in Bushbuckridge. I know even if I'm coming from there, I should be also visiting a lot of schools there, talk about science. But in most rural South Africa, our people don't know much about science. And I think it's an opportunity for all of us to communicate the science to the people. So I think we must communicate more and communicate in the most simplest form so that even your granny there understands what you do. So I think it's time for us to decode the science so that everyone can understand it. Thanks.
Good, Valerie. Well, one last question, if you don't mind. I think it's an important one from Takane. You have profiled women who are succeeding in different areas. When you went into geoscience, did you know how broad the opportunities would be, especially outside traditional geology? And how did you find out perhaps more about those opportunities?
Okay, I'm just trying to understand the question.
So when did you realize there were many more opportunities than just traditional geology, I guess?
Okay, so like with me, and especially the women that have shared their profiles, we are still in communication with each other. We do follow each other on social media. So we are aware of who's doing what. And also those that have branched outside of geosciences. So actually for me like the presentation was collaboration of those women. They said share our stories there. So the opportunities, yeah, because where they work, they know that there are these sort of gaps. I think you're able to tell where like the gaps where you can come in and assist where you can, so that other people, whether it's in the mining, whether it's in the candle industry, they can improve. So yeah, it's just like us sharing knowledge to each other, sharing our stories, that we know that there are opportunities out there.
Super. Valerie, Thank you very much once again. I'm sure Valerie and her colleagues from the CGS who are in the room are going to stay around for a few minutes after the talk. And I'm sure you are welcome to chat with them and ask them more detailed questions. Thank you for coming. And we'll see you next week for more alumni centenary talks.